everybody. I'm Delegate Ken Plum. Welcome to our show, Virginia Report. Increasingly, I find people looking at the new year, looking at a new administration, asking, how can I be of more help to our community? Well, I've got an idea. Let's talk to the folks from Women Giving Back about the kind of work they're doing and work in which we also want to be involved. Terry Stodgy, welcome.
Thank you.
Fiona Hughes, welcome. You're with an organization called Women Giving Back. What's it all about?
We started it in 2007. It had come to our attention that there were an awful lot of professional women that were not being involved in charity works. So as I was part of the Homemade Northern Virginia Board, and we decided to talk to some of the shelters. I called Fiona and another member, Leslie Strittmatter, and the three of us went out and talked to the shelters and asked them what they need. Because Homemade provides the bricks and sticks, and that's not what we wanted to do. We were all marketing people.
Okay.
So they said they need clothing. The women come in with the clothes on their back and their children, nothing, because they're escaping domestic violence a lot, or just they lost their house and they can't take anything with them. So we thought, well, you know, that seems easy enough. We should be able to do that. So we mounted an initial drive and worked out of the Northern Virginia Building Industry Association in a closet. And we just from there grew and grew and grew. And today we've given away over 300,000 items of clothing to women and children at no cost.
Amazing.
And it's all
You went
volunteer.
from a closet to a warehouse.
Yes,
you
we
really
did.
Truly have a warehouse.
Yeah, because you came and saw it.
Absolutely.
I know you did. It's really an amazing facility.
And we didn't do it because we had nothing better to do and we wanted something to do. We did it because the growth was because of the need.
Sure.
The need is tremendous.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the volunteers are career women, and one man.
Okay.
And so everyone does this as a passion. And we have probably over 2,500 volunteers
Amazing.
in this area that come out and help.
Let's talk about, for just a minute, about your the background of the organization. Some folks aren't aware of the fact that the Northern Virginia Building Industry Association has a large effort to help folks who don't have housing. And we're not talking about now simply building new houses and selling them. We're talking about people who can't afford a new house.
That's true.
And Homemade has a major program, and that's kind of what you grew out of.
We grew out of. We're now our own 501c3.
Yeah.
But they're our founding partner.
And Homemade, do they actually build houses or do they repair houses?
Both.
Both. They do both.
We
Okay.
just finished 2 houses for Youth for Tomorrow
Okay.
that we built from scratch. And all the girls from Youth for Tomorrow come out to Women Giving Back, and we provide the clothing for them.
Yeah.
Not the uniforms, but their day-to-day clothing and so forth. It's a good partnership.
Well, again, for folks who are not aware, Youth for Tomorrow down in the Gainesville area is a home that has wayward children, we'll say, young people who, for various reasons, are no longer in their own home, who need support emotionally, educationally, and so on. And as you point out sometimes, things to wear.
Right.
I don't want people to misunderstand, though, when we talk about people clothing, because there are a lot of clothes drives at this clothes. You're talking about taking women who might want to go into the workforce and dressing them up.
But we do that, but we also, many of them, like I said, don't have anything.
Yeah.
So we take jeans and, casual clothes and workout clothes, and we do anything to help fit their wardrobe.
Okay.
And we have a whole children's department.
Okay, yeah.
We like to think that we give them more than just clothing too.
Right.
We want them to come in, despite their circumstances, finding a new wardrobe and leave feeling really good about themselves. And
Well,
it's
you feel good when
amazing
you get
what
dressed up.
You do.
Yes, what a
You
new
look good, feel good.
wardrobe with new clothes, jewelry, new purse, new boots, new whatever. They come out and they've got big smiles on their faces, and we try and make it fun, and we have personal shoppers, and they're all volunteers, and they try and put outfits together for the women that we serve.
Fiona, how did you get involved?
I was in the marketing, advertising world, connected with the building industry also. And Terry and I talked about it. I became involved with Homemade, also on the Homemade board. I it was a big passion for me. I mean, I had a lot of personal things in my prior life that caused me to want to help with these people.
Sure.
The women that we serve, the face of homelessness is not the person pushing a grocery cart with bags necessarily. It's people that look just like us. And especially through the recession, we found we had a lot in common with the people that were coming through our doors, because they were guidance counselors, nurses, teachers, all, you know, who fell upon terrible circumstances and needed our help. So it's not like helping people that we don't identify with. We identify with so many of these women and their circumstances.
Down on their luck. And
Yeah.
how do they get connected up with you?
Well, we do not qualify the women. So I think this is the big difference between us and most of the other programs
Okay.
out there. We work directly with the shelters and the
Okay.
programs and the caseworkers. So we never do one-on-one. Someone can't just walk in off the street because we don't know if they're for real or not.
I got you.
So we communicate with all the different caseworkers and programs. They qualify the people that they're working with that they think need it.
So caseworkers mean folks, in the most extreme cases, people who are in the homeless shelters, the staff of the homeless shelter.
Right.
And in caseworkers are like social service caseworkers who may be working with a family in need.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know from that referral from those sources that you already have somebody who truly is in need.
Yes. Yeah. When they walk in the door, it's because they need us. And then we do special situations like we have a few emergency shelters in Loudoun and Fairfax, and when they get somebody, they'll call us and say, hey, somebody just came in last night. Can we get them in? And we meet them over there and get them everything they need to live a decent life.
And occasionally we'll put to-go bags together. We now have an operations manager who helps us man the store, because we, like Terry said, we all have real jobs too. And she will put together, we'll get the sizes, height, you know, children's ages, whatever. Preferences. And we'll put together a bag.
Wow.
And deliver it to the shelter.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Transportation is probably one of the biggest issues that the shelters have.
Sure. And that's true of social services generally, how people get about.
Yeah.
So I visited you in Sterling, and that's your, quote, store, so
It
to
is,
speak.
yeah.
And the people who would normally come there have come on referral, and I believe sometimes actually get transported over by the
Yes.
homeless shelters and so on.
Yeah.
And can go shopping.
Yes.
Because once you go in there, it looks like a ladies'
Right. The
store.
back is the warehouse where all the sweat and tears go.
Yeah.
But out front, it's set up like a boutique.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's to give them we wanted to give them a gracious and elegant setting. You know, just a little bit of nicety in their lives when they just, you know, aren't experiencing that much right now.
Yeah. Well, I was pleased too, and you mentioned it already, that you're not just talking about a sweater and a blouse and slacks. You're talking about the whole network. You're talking about the handbags, and the belts, and
jewelry,
the accessories, and all that sort of thing.
Right now, they can take up to 50 items per family,
Okay,
which is a lot.
that's a lot. Yeah, that's a big wardrobe. That could get you started.
Yeah.
And we're fairly picky about the clothes that we put on the racks. We try and tell any of the volunteers that are sorting in the warehouse that if they see something that they wouldn't be proud to wear themselves, then we move it on, and we have different resources, different operations that will take the clothes that we don't use. So.
Well, I was impressed when I visited there to realize that there is that sorting that goes on ahead of time. You actually go through this stuff and decide whether it's going to get to rack or not.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not just digging out a heap of clothes.
And that's where all of our corporate partners come in, because what they do is we're one of the few facilities in the DC area that's big enough that you can do a corporate service day. And we can take, you know, 5 people up to, George Mason sends us 350 students at a time.
All at once.
Oh my goodness! And what
It's a little
happens?
controlled chaos.
Yeah, really. What happens then?
We divide, it's such a fun day. It's the George Mason Honors College, and we're part of their orientation program.
Okay.
So they come and they sort, they go through shoes, they, you know, we put them all over, and then we flip them around, and they get a bit of the experience. And last year, we went and spoke with them ahead of time
Yeah.
to kind of explain what they were walking into. What I found most interesting about it, and we had a client speak, and her story was just incredible. And at the end, it was all the guys that came up to her and said, "Oh my God, I'm so impressed with your story." So I don't think the male students had really ever been taught about homelessness and abuse and so forth. It was a real eye opener for me.
Oh my gosh, that's a real life experience. They'll learn a lot that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Very
do.
good. So, on an ordinary going basis, you have a board, you have your
Yes.
own organization, and you have a core of volunteers who come periodically and do this sort of thing. It seems like then that once the store opens, somebody has visually looked at everything that's there and made some some judgment about them as to whether it's appropriate. So you don't feel badly when you go in there that you're looking through a bunch of old stuff.
Exactly.
To try to find something good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we have found things in there because we're usually doing administration stuff, so we're not always out there on the floor, and we've pulled things out when we've gone to look. We're going, oh my word, look at this. I mean, designer clothes,
brand new stuff, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Still with tags on, because us women are pretty bad about that.
returning things.
Well, you didn't get around to returning it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's good. That'll be
Look good at the time, but
Sure. Well, then the folks who come, for example, you mentioned teachers, counselors, others, folks like that. They have been in contact with a social worker or someone. I guess. That's how they.
That's how they found us.
Got to know about it. And you don't generally advertise a location because you really come through that referral.
You have to
plan.
come through the referral.
Right, exactly.
We actually turn people away if they show up at the door on a store day and they don't have a referral.
Yeah.
But we give them the resource of who to contact to get in a program.
Right. How about then the volunteers? A lot of them are coming out of, it sounds like the Building Industry Association, or at least that was initially.
That's how it started.
Okay.
Now we have got volunteers from every walk of life. We've got huge corporate participation.
Okay.
Lots of different corporations that are completely outside the building industry.
we also have a connection that is so valuable, I don't know that we could do it without them, is this group called the National Charity League, which is a little bit like Junior League, but it's a mom and daughter volunteer service club. Yeah.
Oh.
And the girls from that are amazing.
stellar.
They babysit the kids in the playroom on store days, and the moms are amazing, and they take on special projects for us. And it's girls from 8th through 12th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And we have probably 150 of them,
Yeah.
3 different chapters.
And where do they come out? Do they come out of the schools, or where does that organization come?
No, it's a private
National, I
service
think.
club. It's a national, it's a national service club.
Okay, and what is it called again?
National Charity League.
National Charity League.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Very good.
they're fabulous, phenomenal.
are.
And
It's a good
the
program.
nice thing about our connection with them, obviously we benefit from their volunteering, but we are one of the few places where people can go to volunteer and one-on-one interact with the people that they're helping.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So they're not just donating clothes to somewhere and they don't know what happens to it, or
Yeah.
they don't close the loop on
Right.
how what they're doing affects. And so you've got the teenagers who actually can help some of the teenage shoppers. And
really
they
cute
can
to watch.
identify with them. Sometimes they've even found people that are shopping in our store who they go to school with. And
Which
they
is
had
a
no
real
idea.
eye-opener.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
Yeah.
So it's really, really beneficial for
Wow.
the young girls. But I think everybody gets something out of it.
And it's not just NCL. We have a huge teenage volunteer base, which is so nice to see. I
Yeah.
never
Oh,
would have
it is.
thought it would evolve to that.
Yeah.
But
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that league operational like in the Northern Virginia area?
there are
Okay.
3 chapters.
Yeah, wonderful. So I understand now how the folks get in to do the shopping, but let's talk a bit on the back of the house, how the clothes get in the door. Okay?
That's the hard part.
Okay, how does that happen?
We do as much social media as we can,
Okay.
word of mouth. We do a nice newsletter. And so people notify us on the website if they want to do a clothing drive.
Okay.
They've cleaned out their closets. They have stuff to donate. They do neighborhood clothing drives, corporate clothing drives.
Oh, okay.
Then
Estates.
yeah, we
A
do
lot of
get a lot of estates. So yeah, because everyone wants their clothing to go directly to somebody
Right.
that's not going to have to pay for it and is really going to benefit from
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And we are pretty much the only game in town that does that.
Okay.
And so we get a ton of clothing donations.
We come up pretty well on organic search results too on our website. We've been around long enough that Google knows about us. And when people search for somewhere to donate women's clothes, Women Giving Back comes up fairly well.
Right at the top.
Yeah.
So
Are you unique? Are there
Yes.
groups like you around in the country or whatever?
I'm sure there are, but we've never found one. You know, the setup is a little bit different. You know, there are clothing groups, but most of them sell. You know, and it
Right,
might be in a thrift store format.
Sure.
But I haven't run into anyone who actually does the organized outreach to the different shelters and programs and tailors it to their needs.
And when you think about the potential of networking, home aid, and your efforts and so on, you could really help get some people back on their feet.
Oh,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
absolutely
We love the
have.
success stories. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell Brenda's story?
You go ahead, because you're better at that one. You were
Well,
more
we had this
involved with
one
her.
woman come in, and she and her husband and their child had lost their house, everything in it, and they were both working so hard at the program with the shelter that they were at, which I'll leave out, and she came to us probably only 3 times, but every time she came, she was like, "You can't believe the difference you've made. I got a job." And so I remember it was our Easter store this past year, and she was so excited because she had just gotten a job, and she said, "I will not be coming back as a shopper. I'll be back as a volunteer."
Wow.
And she has. So we get a lot of full circle. You know, they come in destitute, and they end up coming back and helping the others.
Yeah, and that should be the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
that you work yourself out of a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the clothing then that comes then doesn't come simply through your board or whatever. It comes from
No.
a whole source of the
Oh, yeah.
community. And people need to be aware that Women Giving Back, Googled, will net
Yep.
contact with you, and you then drop off.
Yeah,
you have to
drop off.
You
We
do
don't
pick-
have a pickup
pick-
service.
Right.
But
drop off.
for large groups, we'll work something out.
Right.
But for the most part, you know, like for instance, Capitol Hill did a big drive for us, and they do it every year.
Okay.
So we do get a line of SUVs going over to
Amazing.
pick up, and those are really good clothes that we get
Yeah.
from up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why is it Women Giving Back? You have one guy on your board, as I recall. and
Yes,
you mentioned
Dave.
that.
Yeah.
And you have a focus on women. Talk a little bit about that. I'm not objecting to that
No,
idea.
no,
Just
no.
what is it makes it special?
It's mainly because of domestic abuse.
Okay.
We have had women come in, and sometimes they have their teenage sons with them that look like men, but they're you know, maybe 16.
Right.
And we've had a few women seriously freak out and leave because they can't be around a man yet. So it was really a conscious choice that, you know what, we can focus on women and children and do it well.
Sure.
And give them a safe harbor and a fun place to go.
And like you had said earlier, we had found out that the data supports the fact that it's mostly women and children in our shelters. There are a few families, but mostly it's women and children. Plus, it was a bunch of us women that decided to start it anyways.
Yeah, right, of course. And I do appreciate the special features of womanhood that would lend itself to that. And I don't want to be politically incorrect, but I think it's the case that maybe clothing maybe defines a woman, maybe more
Yes.
than it might for a
I
man.
believe it does.
Yeah, and particularly when you're looking for employment opportunities, some guys can go dig a ditch. Women can do that too,
Right.
but they're not.
But they don't want to.
They don't. Oftentimes don't want to, so that's more of a. That way.
When we get men's clothing in, and we do, we have a few partners that we then take it
Well,
to
Cindy
those
Dwyer,
places.
I'm familiar with her
Yes,
operation.
yeah.
And she does a magnificent job
Yes,
of
she
making
does.
dressing men up in suits.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Walter Reed. Yeah.
particularly veterans. So
Yeah.
No, she's awesome.
So what do you see in the future? How's this going to go?
Wow. Well,
Lots of ways.
we've now got this amazing space, which we have managed to fill. You know, it's
And
like,
I can assure my viewers that it's a very large space.
it's
Yeah.
a very large space. We have to raise money in order to do that. We have some incredible sponsors that have stuck with us and have helped us grow. So hopefully we're able to continue to do that. I think we'd like to get more into a service realm as well as just supplying the clothes. We have a relationship with some Society for Human Resource Managers chapters in Loudon.
That help them review the resumes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That will, yeah, they'll help write resumes, give them some tips on interviewing skills. We would like to be able to get to the point where we can have some families that are getting out of shelters and out of supported housing, that we can then help furnish their new homes. And we've done that a few times, where people have graduated from the shelter system. They have a job, they can afford their rent, but they have no furniture.
Right.
So
Just sleeping on the floor.
It's been incredibly easy just to put the word out. Everybody's got extra furniture in their basements, and we've had
In many cases, we get too much.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone's wanting to help. So.
So we've had some amazing times of doing that. We'd like to expand. We've got some new partnerships that we're working to build with other organizations. We'd love to spread into maybe a couple of select organizations in Maryland and DC. We've just recently expanded to a partnership in Western Loudon with an organization out there. So there's no end to what we could do.
Right.
It's just,
And you now actually have formal staff, so
Yes,
you're able
yes.
to
We have
do
one.
some of that. Okay, and it's important cement to hold it all together.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Nicole
yeah,
is just
yeah.
great.
yeah.
So the things like the home furnishing, you were kind of doing that on a case-by-case
Yeah.
basis. You'd identify a family
Just
and you'd focus on
as
that family.
needed, yeah.
There was a group in Reston, Graceful Spaces, I think it was called, that attempted to do that. It dealt with the obvious but sometimes overlooked fact that when you let someone out of a homeless shelter, they don't need a place, their furniture to move
Exactly.
into. They basically,
They're sleeping on the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they sleep on the floor, right.
Yeah.
And they were putting together furniture as that same kind of idea.
Yeah.
We usually find out about them because they're moving out, and the shelter will call us and say, "Hey, can you get a to-go bag over there? They're moving out." So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
put together, something for the whole family, and we walk in and we see there's no sofa, there are pillows and blankets on the floor,
Yeah.
and that is usually when we
that's
put out the
great,
call
yeah,
and
yeah.
and people show up.
Now you got to admit, putting together those bags, what do you call them?
To-go bag.
Go bags, that's got to be a fun.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
You know the prototype of the person, right? You know their sizes, and
Yep.
you know their interests and all that sort of stuff, and then you get to shop.
Right.
And actually, that's one of the first jobs we give to new volunteers.
Oh yeah.
Because they get to really feel invested in them instead of just working.
yeah.
They
Good.
they know it's personal.
Good. Corporate giving relates to your meeting your expenses, like renting your warehouse,
Right.
paying your staff, a one-person staff. What else can corporations do if they don't want to get into the stuff, if they want to just provide money? What kind of help
We
would
have
that be?
great sponsorship opportunities.
Okay.
We hold many events at the store. For instance, M&T Bank sponsors our professional boutique.
Okay.
And so there are signs up there and the whole bit. Van Meter Homes sponsors our playroom.
Okay.
So-
Your professional boutique you've kind of separated out the fancy clothes,
Yeah.
or not the fancy in terms of professional dress clothes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we can create opportunities for anybody.
Okay.
We have a corporation, Heritage Contracting, that sponsors our rent.
Okay.
So,
Wonderful.
we've got different things like that and a zillion different levels. We also have our annual fundraiser, which is Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
And that's in May.
Okay.
First Thursday in May, and it's really fun.
Oh, good.
And we do sponsorships for that. And most of our corporate giving, except for our professional sponsorships, come through Cinco de Mayo sponsorships.
Okay.
And this is our 10th year.
Yeah, this is
Coming
our
into
10th
our
anniversary.
year,
Amazing.
so it's
Wow.
going to be a big party.
I've been to home aid events, and
Yeah.
they're a big smash. I mean, they're
I
wonderful.
know. We were
events.
just saying, I think that's where we saw you last.
Oh, okay, yeah, good.
At the gallery.
And so, how do you publicize? Where is your Cinco de Mayo going to be?
It's actually at the store. We put
Okay.
a big tent up in the parking lot in front of the store so
Oh,
that
okay.
people can go in and see the store, which
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really helps,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a band and dancing, and it's catered, and we do wine tastings and tequila tastings, and
Oh, my God.
it's fun. It's a real fun.
Well, the thing for people who are trying to visualize what we're talking about here, they need to understand that we're talking about going into, we call it a warehouse, but really it's a store. For some of you, it's a store. And it looks like Macy's.
It does.
I mean, it really does. It's a women's dress
Yeah.
clothes place. And folks go shopping, some of whom are very poor, some of whom are down on their luck.
Right.
Oh, but by the grace of God, go I.
Exactly.
You know,
Oh,
you never know who's going
absolutely.
to fall into the circumstances, and you can help them out. And I think, too, probably, is I suspect, the conversations as you shop together with someone,
Yes.
all that boosts his ego and
Yes.
kind of thing, yeah.
Yes.
So sometimes the difference between having and not having is a state of mind, and that someone can help with the state of mind as well as the dress.
Definitely.
much the better.
Definitely.
Well, I think they walk in not knowing what to expect, because their case manager said, here, go on over and get some clothes.
Ladies, we're going to have to leave it there.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Terry and Fiona.
Thank you
for
very
being
much,
with us.
Ken.
Thank you for inviting us.
Women's Giving Back. That's the place to look for. Google it. You can take your professional clothes and make a contribution, but also you might want to consider becoming a volunteer. A great organization in our community. Hope you'll help them. Ken Plum, I'm glad you were with us tonight. Hope you'll join us again next time. Bye-bye.